washed my hands, I've set the oven to 350 degrees. It is warming up, getting ready to go. And this gets put together so quickly. I really think you're gonna like this one. So into a medium-sized bowl, I have whole wheat flour and some oat flour. So putting those two in there, and then I've got my olive oil, and you're just gonna pour this over. So what we're doing right now is creating the crust of it. There's not a lot of flavor going into the crust because all the flavor is in that sweet potato filling. It's awesome. Now, what I'm gonna do is just sort of mix that up real quick, like so. And then I've got some water here. And you're gonna see it's gonna get really dry, right? So we're not right at the crust just yet, but I'm gonna take about 2 to 3 tablespoons of cold water, sprinkle that over. I may not even need it with this one, which is good. You know what? I don't think I do. That's good. Yeah, one seems to be good enough. And there goes a piece flying. Good times. All right, so got my, what is this? I think this is about 8-inch. The crust actually works for a 10-inch as well, so pie dish. So go ahead and use 10 inches if that's what you have. If you have smaller, a little thicker crust is okay. It's not a problem. All right, so I've already washed my hands, but it's gonna work a lot faster if I use my hands for this part. And I'm just gonna press down, making sure to push out to the edges. And then once it gets out to the edge, I'm gonna start to develop the rim of it, so. All right, so that's as pretty good as I think I'm gonna get it. So I'm gonna take a fork now and just put some holes into the bottom of the crust so that we don't get any huge bumps when it bakes, because we're gonna bake it for about 5 minutes. That's all. And then we're gonna put the filling in. Cool, so we're gonna put this in, like I said, for 5 minutes. The oven is ready to go at 350 degrees, but meet me over there at the counter and we're gonna do the filling. All right, so like I said, just like the crust, the filling is gonna go by super fast, especially if you have a blender or a food processor. So we're gonna take our sweet potato, because you need sweet potato for a sweet potato pie. So this is about 400 grams. Now the reason I'm telling you that is because I find it easier to measure in grams for this type of thing, because it all depends on the size of your sweet potatoes. So I mean, if you've got like 2 large ones, you're probably good to go. You might need 3 or 4 of the medium ones, and then small ones, you know, as many as you need. But yeah, so about 400 grams of sweet potato is going in. Next, we're gonna add in, and this is where the great part happens. You're gonna add in your coconut milk. Oh, love me some coconut milk. To this part, you are then going to add your maple syrup and your vanilla. And now we mix. We mix after you turn it on. Ay, ay. All right, that took a couple of seconds. Now we're gonna add in the dry ingredients, which is my whole wheat flour. And And then I've got some spices, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, and a bit of salt. And we mix again.
A few moments later.
Once the mixture is smooth and you see no more flour, you're good to go. I am going to turn it off just for a second and scrape down the sides. I've got some spices hanging out all on their own, doing their own thing. Can't have that. And then I'm gonna run it again. Wow, that smells incredible. And that's it. So now we just wait. We've got another 2 minutes for the crust, and then we're gonna bake it. Cool. And we're back with the crust and the filling. So the crust is all ready to go. And like I said, you don't have to do this, but I do like to put it into the oven for about 5 minutes, blind bake it. I do like to do that first just to make sure that you don't get a soggy bottom, because there's nothing worse than a soggy bottom. I'll leave that there. So the longest part of this recipe is actually the bake time. So this is going to go into the oven for about 40 to 50 minutes. And my advice is once it's done, let it cool for at least an hour. Okay, yeah, give it its time, let it chill out and just relax, you know? It'll be totally worth it. In fact, I personally love eating this like a day, 2-3 days later. It's so good. Warm it up, eat it cold, fantastic. So back into the oven, like I said, for about 40 to 50 minutes. Let it cool for an hour, then it's done, ready to go. It's a good sweet potato pie. Nice, thick, delicious. Little whipped cream on top. Fantastic. This is coconut. I don't know if you have you ever tried the whipped cream, the coconut whipped cream? So good. I love it. And it's not too sweet with that maple syrup in there. You might think, oh, this looks like a lot, but trust me, it totally isn't. Balances out. Like I said, there's not a lot of flavor coming out with the crust. It's beautiful and crumbly, but you combine the two together,